Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Tuesday, June 7th, 2022. Today I'm going to recap last night's Game 4 of the Western Conference Finals between the Avs and the Oilers, and look ahead to tonight's Game 4 between the Rangers and the Lightning. Major League Baseball, WNBA. We're going to do MLB team core rankings today. We have a lot of primaries going on today, so we'll get into that. News and notes and best bet. We're going to start with the Stanley Cup Playoffs, Conference Finals. Game 4. The Oilers come out on top by a score of 6-5 in overtime on a goal by Artturi Lehkonen to send the Avalanche to the Stanley Cup Final as they complete the 4-game sweep as they send the Oilers home packing. The number 3 started game with a goal and 2 assists is Connor McDavid. Number 2 started game with a goal and 4 assists, Cale Makar. And the number 1 started game with 4 assists, Leon Draisaitl. So 2 of the 3 stars of the game come from the team that was eliminated. I give the Oilers credit for coming back and tying that game after blowing the 2-goal lead in the third period. Zach Kajan scored the game-tying goal, and then Lehkonen won it in OT. So Colorado awaits the winner of Rangers Lightning to go to the Stanley Cup Final. And the Avs might have a rest disadvantage in Game 1. A really good, sneaky strategy is to bet against them in Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final, whether it's the Lightning or the Rangers, and then bet on them to win the series at a price that you feel is valuable. So that's the route from a betting standpoint you can go with the Avalanche. And I say that because the Lightning lost Game 1 in blowout fashion to the Rangers in the Eastern Final with a ton of rest. And who knows, Rangers-Lightning might go 6 or 7. So the Avs really might be going up against a team that people might think will be tired, but the rust could come back to bite them like we saw with the Lightning in Game 1 against the Rangers. And tonight's Rangers-Lightning, Game 4, 8 o'clock on ESPN. Sean McDonough, Ray Ferraro on the call. Emily Kaplan, too. Should be a good game. Lightning could even up this baby at 2 apiece, or the Rangers could win it and send it back to MSG up 3-1. Lightning are minus 182. The Rangers are plus 150. Over under 5.5. Over is plus 106. Under is minus 130. Rangers plus 1.5 is minus 178. Lightning minus 1.5 is plus 146. The over seems valuable on the surface, but it's rare to see a game like this go over with the goalie matchup we have in this series. I don't know what to think for this game because the Rangers feel like a team with so much momentum, and it took the Lightning till the final minute of regulation to take the lead in what was their best game of the series. So I don't feel super about my Lightning in 6 pick against the Rangers. But this Ranger team really has exceeded expectations its entire postseason, especially after being down 3-1 to Pittsburgh. So my pick for the game, I'm going to begrudgingly pick the Lightning in regulation at minus 110. I hate the pick, but I would not be surprised whatsoever if the Rangers come out there and steal this game and go up 3-1, considering how great they've been at coming back from facing adversity. So just want to toss that out there. All right, now move on to Major League Baseball. We will go over the results from yesterday's small window and look ahead to a much larger window for tonight. Reds over the Diamondbacks 7-0 in 7 innings, as it was a rain-shortened game. Cincy's 19-35, Arizona 26-30. Hunter Green the win, and Madison Bumgarner the loss. Mariners over the Astros 7-4. Seattle 25-30. Houston 35-20. Robbie Ray the win. Christian Javier the loss. Diego Castillo the save. Blue Jays over the Royals 8-0. Blue Jays 32-22. Casey 17-36. Russ Stripling the win. Daniel Lynch the loss. Red Sox over the Angels 1-0. Red Sox 28-27, so they're over 500 for the first time all season. LA 27-29. Michael Wacha with the win. Noah Syndergaard the loss. And by the way, that is 12 straight losses for LA. Or for Anaheim, my bad. And the Mets over the Padres 11-5. A big win for the Mets, 38-19 on the year. San Diego 33-23. Carlos Carrasco the win. And Blake Snell the loss. Rangers Guardians postponed makeup date today. So we have a doubleheader on our hands. And that game begins at 3 o'clock. And it's John Gray and Cal Quantrill. The Rangers are minus 102. The Guardians are minus 116. Over under 8.5. Overs minus 104. Unders minus 118. Rangers minus 1.5 is plus 172. Guardians plus 1.5 is minus 210. Tough one. I'm going to do the same strategy as yesterday, so it's not a tough one. So I'm going to lay the minus 116 with the Guardians against the Rangers. Because they should not be minus 116 when they're 64.8% according to ESPN Analytics. So, Guardians all the way in that one. 6:30 D-backs Reds. Tyler Gilbert and Graham Ashcraft. Reds minus 142. D-backs plus 120. Over under 10. Overs minus 105. Unders minus 115. D-backs plus 1.5 is minus 166. Reds minus 1.5 is plus 138. Too high. I'm going under. Nats Marlins. Evan Lee and Edward Cabrera. For some reason, this game isn't... Oh, there it is. Never mind. Marlins minus 180. Nats plus 152. It says Evan Lee on ESPN, but it says Jonah Don on FanDuel. That's weird. So, Marlins minus 180. Nats plus 152. Over under 8.5. Overs minus 122. Unders even money. Nats plus 1.5 is minus 137. Marlins minus 1.5 is plus 114. For this game, I'm going to go first half result. Actually, no, that's a little much. I'm going to go under 4.5 first half total runs, minus 105. 7 o'clock, Cubs Orioles from Baltimore. Keegan Thompson and Kyle Bradish. Cubs minus 106, Orioles minus 110, over under 8.5, overs minus 120, unders minus 102. Cubs minus 1.5 is plus 150, Orioles plus 1.5 is minus 184. I love Chicago, minus 106. They should not be an underdog in this game. 59.7% chance to win, according to ESPN Analytics. I absolutely love the Cubs at minus 106. Tigers, Pirates, Tariq Skubal and Jose Quintana. Detroit minus 126, Pirates plus 108, over under 7, overs minus 104, unders minus 118. Detroit minus 1.5 is plus 136, Pirates plus 1.5 is minus 164. I'm going with Pittsburgh as the home dog plus 108. They're 57.4% chance to win. Cards, Rays, Dakota Hudson and Jeffrey Springs. This should be a very interesting series considering what we discussed on News and Notes yesterday with Jack Flaherty calling out the Rays players for not wearing the pride patch. So I would not be shocked if there's some chicanery in this series. So for this game, it's Rays minus 162, Cardinals plus 138, over under 8, overs minus 104, unders minus 118. Cards plus 1.5 is minus 140. Rays minus 1.5 is plus 116. Oh yeah, before I forget, it's Dakota Hudson and Jeffrey Springs. I am going to go with the Cardinals plus 136. 44.1% chance and plus 136. I kind of like the numbers, so I'm going to go with the Cardinals. Rangers Guardians game 2. Taylor Hearn and Connor Pilkington. Guardians minus 136, Rangers plus 116, over under 9, overs minus 118, others minus 104. Rangers plus 1.5 is minus 184, Guardians minus 1.5 is plus 152. I'm going to go in this game with the under. 7:20 A's Braves. Cole Irvin and Kyle Wright. Braves minus 250. A's plus 205, over under 8.5. Overs minus 120, unders minus 102. A's plus 1.5 is even money. Braves minus 1.5 is minus 120. The Braves, I think the market has caught up to the Braves' hot run. But I like the under in this game. Under 8.5 at minus 102. 7:30 Yankees Twins. Jameson Tyone and we don't know is going for Minnesota. If the Twins are a good enough underdog, that's the pick. I like Minnesota potentially tonight, depending on what the number is. Because I don't see it on FanDuel. Maybe DraftKings has it. I'm just going to check real quick. And they do not. All right. 8 o'clock, we got the Dodgers and the White Sox on TBS. Before the season, some would have said, oh, there's the World Series preview. I don't know about that now. Mitch White and Michael Kopech. The Dodgers are favored, minus 124. White Sox plus 106, over under 8.5. Overs minus 105, unders minus 115. Dodgers minus 1.5 is plus 125. White Sox plus 1.5 is minus 150. I like the under. Phillies Brewers. Ranger Suarez and Jason Alexander. The Brewers are minus 112. The Phillies are minus 104. Over under 8.5. Overs minus 118. Unders minus 104. Phillies minus 1.5 is plus 158. Brewers plus 1.5 is minus 192. I'm going with the Phillies. They're percentage favorites on ESPN Analytics, 55.8%. They're underdog here. Give me minus 104 with the Phillies to remain undefeated under Rob Thompson as the intern manager. Mariners Astros. Chris Flexen and Justin Verlander. The Astros are minus 255. The Mariners are plus 205. Over under 8, minus 10 each way. Mariners plus 1.5 is even money. Astros minus 1.5 is minus 120. I'm going with the under, but I don't feel good about it. Blue Jays Royals. Alek Manoah and Brad Keller. The Blue Jays are minus 205. The Royals are plus 172. Over under 8. Overs minus 112. Minus 114. Unders minus 106. Blue Jays minus 1.5 is minus 126. Royals plus 1.5 is plus 105. This is a good one. I like the under. A lot of unders on today's show. 9:30 Red Sox Angels. Garrett Whitlock and Reed Detmers. This game is not on the FanDuel either for some reason. DraftKings may have it. And no, they don't, which is weird. But the Red Sox are probably favored, you would think. So I would look at that, and if the total's anything higher than 8, then I would jump on the under. Mets Padres. Taijuan Walker and Yu Darvish. Padres minus 132, Mets plus 112, over under 7.5, overs minus 115, unders minus 105. Mets plus 1.5 is minus 205, Padres minus 1.5 is plus 168. I like the Mets at plus 112 to knock off the Padres. 47.7%, and usually my even money number I like is 47.5. And at 9:45, you have the Rockies at the Giants. Herman Marquez and Carlos Rodon. Giants minus 235. Rockies plus 194. Over under 7.5. Overs minus 120. Unders minus 102. Rockies plus 1.5 is minus 110. Same with the Giants minus 1.5. I love the Giants on the run line. Minus 1.5 and minus 110. Love it. Herman Marquez has been terrible this season. Rodon has been good despite slumping of late. All right, now move on to the WNBA. We do have some games to discuss. There's about 2 or 3 games, if I am not mistaken. There's 2. 8 o'clock, CBS Sports Network. You have the Lynx and the Liberty. Each team is 3-8. Liberty are just absolutely desperate at this point because they can't afford, for me at least, to get off to a worser start. They're 2.5-point favorite. Total's 159.5. I'm going to lay the points. Getting them under 3 at home, I like it. And at 10 o'clock on CBS Sports Network, you have the Dream and the Storm. The Dream are 7-4, and the Storm are 5-5. The Storm is an 8.5-point favorite. Total's 152.5. I like the Dream getting all the points. They're just better than the Storm at the moment. Although the Storm will probably have the better roster. but they're playing better than the Storm right now. So give me Atlanta plus 8.5. I would honestly take a stab at the money line at plus 310. Potentially. But I like the Dream getting to 8.5 against Seattle. Okay. Now we'll do my Major League Baseball team core rankings. Yesterday we did the NFL. And now I'm going to do Major League Baseball. Unlike the football one, big ticket free agents, some of them are included in these rankings, especially the ones that were signed to the big contracts. So you'll see them as we go through these lists. All right, this is not team power rankings. This is rankings of how I feel about each team's core that I feel is a part of their cores. Our number 30 of the Oakland Athletics, I have down here Ramon Laureano, Sean Murphy, Frankie Montas, and Lou Trevino. That team really doesn't have that bright of a future at the moment. Frankie Montas might be out the door via trade. And Sean Manaea already was traded. Number 29, the Texas Rangers. Nate Lau, Sam Huff, Dane Dunning, Joe Barlow. So 2 position players, a starter, and a closer. Number 28, the Chicago Cubs. Wilson Contreras, Ian Happ, Nico Horner, Kyle Hendricks, Keegan Thompson. Keegan Thompson really broke out this year as a starter reliever type of pitcher. But he mostly starts now. Contreras and Happ are probably going to be traded. Horner's a nice young player. Hendricks could be traded too, even. 27, the Washington Nationals. Juan Soto, Keibert Ruiz, Eric Fee, Josiah Gray, Steven Strasburg. The reason why that's low is because Soto is probably out the door sooner rather than later. Number 26, the Pittsburgh Pirates. Brian Hayes, Brian Reynolds, Ronci Contreras, Mitch Keller, Zach Thompson. So they're 2 key position players right now on the team. And the 3 pitchers, Contreras, he is a really solid young pitcher they got in the Jameson Taillon deal. Mitch Keller looks like a bust, but he's been around a while, so he has to be included in the core. And then Zach Thompson, I think, is going to be there long term. Number 25, the Kansas City Royals. Salvador Perez, Bobby Witt Jr., Brady Singer, Brad Keller, Daniel Lynch. Keller's been around a while. Singer and Lynch, I think, will be in that rotation for years to come. Bobby Witt's their stud shortstop, and Sal Perez obviously has been their backbone behind the plate for years now. Number 24, the Baltimore Orioles. Sorry, a little bit of a tongue twister there. Adley Rutschman, Ryan Mountcastle, Trey Mancini, Anthony Santander, and John Means. 1 pitcher and 4 position players. Means, unfortunately, out for the year, Tommy John. Mancini's been around a while. Rutschman, Mountcastle, and Santander, I think, are going to be long-term pieces. Number 23, the Colorado Rockies. Chris Bryant, Brendan Rodgers, Charlie Blackmon, Kyle Freeland, Herman Marquez. So a big-ticket free agent in Bryant. Rodgers, good young up-and-coming player. Blackman's been around a long time, and then Freeland and Marquez have been in that rotation for a half-decade, I believe, already. Number 22, the Detroit Tigers. Spencer Torkelson, Miguel Cabrera, Javier Baez, Casey Mize, and Tariq Skubal. Honorable mention to Eduardo Rodriguez. He was another free agent signing, but he wasn't the big ticket for me, like how Javi was in that sense. Because Javi signed longer term than Rodriguez. So Torkelson is the future. Javi's going to be around the while. Miguel obviously has to be on the list for legacy reasons. Mize, I think, is a future ace, and Scoop Ball really has had a nice year this year. 21, the Cincinnati Reds. Joey Votto, Aristides Aquino, Tyler Stevenson, Hunter Green, Luis Castillo, Tyler Mahle. So this is a group of 6 in this one. Votto, same reason as Miguel Cabrera. It's a legacy thing for him. Aquino, Stevenson, I think are 2 long-term position players. Hunter Green's going to be there forever, I feel like. Castillo and Maley, I think, are trade bait, but they have to be included in the core for the time being. Number 20, the Arizona Diamondbacks. Ketel Marte, Alec Thomas, Dalton Varsho, David Peralta, Zach Gallen. So like the Orioles, 4 position players and a pitcher. Gallen was a great ad via trade with the Marlins. And then Marte is just a great player. And Varsho and Thomas are part of the future, and Peralta is just a veteran that's been there a long time. 19, the Philadelphia Phillies. Bryce Harper, JT Realmuto, Rhys Hoskins, Alec Boehm, Aaron Nola. Again, 4 position players and the pitcher. So we had the big ticket ad in Bryce Harper. Jason Realmuto is the trade piece. Rhys and Alec Boehm are homegrown guys, and say with Nola. 18, the Boston Red Sox. Xander Bogaerts, Rafael Devers, Alex Verdugo, Chris Sale, Garrett Whitlock. So Sale is the trade piece / big ticket. But I feel guilty because JD Martinez, I feel like, was a big ticket ad for them. So I think I'm going to add him to their core so they can make it 6. Bogaerts and Devers are in their walk years. Verdugo is a player I think will be around for a while. And Garrett Whitlock's a good pitcher that's going to be there for a while, too. 17, the Cleveland Guardians. Jose Ramirez, Josh Naylor, Shane Bieber, Tristan McKenzie, Cal Quantrill. I think Naylor's going to be there a while. Jose Ramirez obviously just gave him an extension. Shane Bieber, great pitcher. Tristan McKenzie's coming in his own, so is Cal Quantrill. Number 16, the Miami Marlins. Jazz Chisholm, Jesus Sanchez, Brian Anderson, Pablo Lopez, Sandy Alcantara. I like this 5-some a lot. This is the future play for why they're this high. Chisholm and Sanchez are promising young players. Brian Anderson's been there a long time. He's like the Trey Mancini of the Marlins in a way, and same like David Peralta is like the Trey Mancini of the D-backs. Those 3 veterans have been on their teams for a long time and have been, I think, good influences on their young players. And then for the Marlins case, for their pitchers, Lopez and Alcantara, those 2 guys are co-aces in the making. Great pitchers. 15, the Seattle Mariners. Julio Rodriguez, Mitch Haniger, Kyle Lewis, George Kirby, Logan Gilbert. So Kirby and Gilbert, 2 really young pitchers, I think are going to be mainstays for them. Kyle Lewis is coming off an injury, but I think he's going to be around a long time. Julio Rodriguez, I think, is going to be eventually a franchise player. And Haniger has been around for a while, it feels like now. Number 14, the Minnesota Twins. Byron Buxton, Miguel Sano, Trevor Lagrange, Max Kepler, Jorge Polanco, Joe Ryan. Joe Ryan, I think, is their future ace. I'm a big fan of him. Polanco's been there a while. Kepler, I feel like, has been there a while. Lagrange, up-and-coming young player. Sano and Buxton, obviously, have been there a while now as well. Number 13, the Chicago White Sox. Jose Abreu, Yoan Moncada, Tim Anderson, Luis Robert, Eloy Jimenez, Lucas Giolito. This group, I don't know how long they're going to be together, but from a name value and potential standpoint, they really have a nice foundation. Giolito, obviously an ace. I mean, honorable mention to Michael Kopech, who probably should have been on the list over somebody, but he's been hurt all the time, and he's just come into his own this season. Abreu's been there for a long time. Moncada, they got in the sale deal. Anderson's been there for a minute. And Eloy Jimenez and Luis Robert are foundation pieces long-term as well. Number 12, the St. Louis Cardinals. Paul Goldschmidt, Nolan Arenado, Yadier Molina, Tyler O'Neill, Adam Wainwright, Jack Flaherty. I like this core a lot too. Obviously, Yadi and Wainwright, the veterans. Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado, also vets that they acquired in trades. Tyler O'Neill, Jack Flaherty, I think are going to be there a long time. 11, the San Francisco Giants. Brandon Belt, Brandon Crawford, Mike Yastrzemski, Joey Bart, Logan Webb. This is kind of like them and the Cardinals. I feel like it was a coin flip, and the next team as well. The 2 Brandons have been around a long time. Joey Bart is the catcher of the now and the future. Yastrzemski, I like as a player. And Logan Webb, I think, is a really solid pitcher. Number 10, the Milwaukee Brewers. Christian Yelich, Corbin Burns, Brandon Woodruff, Josh Hader, Devin Williams. Rare instance where I have a one position player, 2 starters, and 2 relievers. Williams was obviously the Rookie of the Year 2 years ago. Hader's been the best reliever in baseball for a while now. I think Yelich is just going to be around a long time, despite not living up to what he was when he first came over to the Brewers. And then Burns and Woodruff are going to be leading that rotation for years to come. Number 9, the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani, Jared Walsh, Taylor Ward, Reed Detmers. Ward breakout year. Walsh had a breakout year last year. I think Detmers is going to be the guy in their rotation going forward. And obviously, Trout and Ohtani are 2 of the best 3 players in all of baseball. Number 8, the San Diego Padres. Fernando Tatis Jr., Manny Machado, Trent Grisham, Mackenzie Gore, Blake Snell, Joe Musgrove. Tatis is the franchise player. Machado is the big ticket ad. Grisham, good young trade piece. I think he's going to be around the while. Gore is a future ace. Musgrove and Snell, they came over in trades. But I just think Snell's going to be around the while, and same for Musgrove. Number 7, the New York Mets. Peter Alonso, Francisco Lindor, Brandon Nimmo, Jeff McNeil, Jacob deGrom, Edwin Diaz. Alonso is the franchise guy. Lindor was the trade piece. The reason why Scherzer's not on here is because he was the big ticket ad, but on a short-term contract. Nimmo's been around a long time. McNeil's been around a long time. And then obviously deGrom's deGrom. And then Diaz, I think, has evolved as a very good closer. Number 6, the Houston Astros. Jose Altuve, Alex Bregman, Yordan Alvarez, Christian Javier, Justin Verlander. Verlander was the big ticket ad, but he's on there because he's been on the Astros for a long time now. Javier, good young pitcher that's emerging. And obviously, Yordan just got paid. Bregman, really good. And then Altuve's Altuve. Number 5, the Tampa Bay Rays. Wander Franco, Randy Arozarena, Tyler Glasnow, Sean McClanahan, Shane Baz. I like this core a lot. I had them ahead of Houston because of the future potential of Baz and McClanahan. Meanwhile, Verlander is aging. The Glasnow was a big wild card, and obviously Franco is going to be a franchise guy, and Arozarena is a good player as well. Number 4, the Toronto Blue Jays. Vlad Guerrero Jr., Bo Bichette, Matt Chapman, Jose Barrios, Jordan Romano. It was hard to pick from the Blue Jays because they have a lot of good players. Obviously, Vlad and Bo are going to be foundation pieces for a long time. Chapman was the trade ad, and same for Barrios on the pitching side, and Romano's a good young closer. Number 3, the New York Yankees. Aaron Judge, Gleyber Torres, Giancarlo Stanton, Luis Severino, Garrett Cole, Jordan Montgomery, Nestor Cortez. This is one of 2 teams that I have 7 down for. Although I should have had 7 down for Chicago, but I didn't. Judge in the contract year is why they're beneath the next 2 teams. It's the sole reason. And they haven't won a World Series yet with this group. That's another reason why that they're 3 and not 2 or 1. Stanton was the trade piece. Cole was the big ticket. Gleyber is a trade piece in the Chapman deal. Montgomery breakout year this year. Same for Cortez. And then Severino, obviously, has been around a while. Number 2, the Atlanta Braves. Matt Olson, Ronald Acuna Jr., Austin Riley, Mike Soroka, Max Fried. Soroka and Fried are going to lead that rotation long term. Matt Olson, trade piece replacing Freddie Freeman. Acuna Jr. is their best player. It's a matter of when he's going to come back and be himself for Atlanta. And then Austin Riley is a really good player that needs to be mentioned here. And number 1, I mean, come on, if there wasn't any doubt, the Los Angeles Dodgers. Will Smith, Trey Turner, Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, Cody Bellinger, Walker Buehler, Clayton Kershaw. So Freeman was kind of the big ticket, but he's on the list because he signed long-term. Trey Turner was trade. Will Smith, homegrown. Betts, trade. Bellinger, homegrown. Same for Buehler. And then obviously Clayton Kershaw has to be on there from a legacy perspective. So there you have it, my team core rankings for Major League Baseball. Tomorrow we're going to do NBA, so that should be an interesting one. All right, now move on to primaries, which are going on today. There are some key ones that are going on today, including here in New Jersey, which we'll get to, but we're going to start with California, as they have a gubernatorial election, as incumbent Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom is running for re-election to the second term after surviving a recall election in 2021 during his first term. So, it's Newsom, it's Anthony Fanara, Armando Perez Serrato, and Joel Ventresca. Newsom's going to survive. That's a guarantee. But the Republican side is where it gets more interesting. It's Ronald Anderson, writing Gwinder Bongu, Sean Collins, Brian Dahl, Ron Jones, Jenny Ray LaRoe, David Lozano, Daniel Marucci, Christian Raul Morales, Robert T. Newman, Lonnie Sorter, Anthony Tremino, Major Williams, and Leo S. Zaki. So a lot of these guys are candidates in the recall election. So some of these names are familiar. But my pick to win this side is not somebody that was a write-in candidate. I'm going with Brian Dahl, who's a state senator from the 1st District of California and a former minority leader of the California State Assembly. So this is a big deal in California. So we have the Senate going on today for California, as well. In California. And the Democrat side, you have Akinye Agbegi, Dan O'Dowd, Alex Padilla, Douglas Howard Pierce, Obito Hook Perjada, and Timothy Urish. On that side, I think it's going to potentially... Is it between O'Dowd and Padilla? I'm going to go with Padilla. And then Republican, you have James P. Bradley, John Ellis, Myron L. Hall, Sarah Sun Liu, Robert George Lucero, Mark Messer, Enrique Patrice, Chuck Smith, Carlos Guillermo Tapia, Cordy Williams, and Legend Zhu. I'm going to go, but I don't feel good about it, but I'm going to go with James Bradley on the Republican side for Senate. Also, in California for election, we have Secretary of State. Democratic Party, you have Shirley Weber, who's the incumbent. She'll get through. And the Republican, you have Rob Bernowski, Rachel Hamm, James Payne, and Raul Rodriguez. This is a tough one, but I don't feel good about it. I'm going to go with Bernowski. But like I said, I do not feel super about that one. And in Iowa for gubernatorial, presumptive nominee Kim Reynolds for Republican, who is the incumbent, and presumptive Democratic Deidre DeJar. And that is because they do not have competition within their parties. Also, gubernatorial primary today is New Mexico. You have incumbent Michelle Lujan Grisham, who is the presumptive winner, with running mate Howie Morales. So the Republicans up for grabs. You have Jay Block, Rebecca Dow, Ethel Maurig, Mark Ronchetti, and Gregory Zanetti. Tough one, but I'm going to go with Rebecca Dow because she is a state rep and she's pretty well known in that state. So I'm going to go with Rebecca Dow here in New Mexico. And then South Dakota, we have incumbent Governor Kristi Noem, and she's running for a second term, but Jamie Smith's the presumptive Democratic winner, as Smith has no competition. And Noem has Steve Hoggard going up against, who's a state rep and former Speaker of the South Dakota House of Reps. I think Noem will ultimately survive the primary here. And today we also have primaries in New Jersey and Montana. In Jersey, it's a lot of state congressional going on. So that's up for grabs. So we'll keep an eye on those. And then Montana is the other one going on. And Montana, it's House for both sides. So we'll recap all the results on the podcast tomorrow. So 7 states today. It's California, Iowa, Mississippi, Montana, Jersey, New Mexico, South Dakota. And then for Mississippi, the one to watch is the 4th Congressional District. So that's the one for Mississippi to keep an eye on for tonight. And obviously, like I said, we'll go over the results on the podcast tomorrow. All right, news and notes time. There's some things that I wanted to touch on in here. So Deebo Samuel to attend minicamp, so that is good news for the 49ers. But the big story is that Dustin Johnson has left the PGA Tour, as he announces he's resigned from the tour and plans to play only LIV golf events and majors. That is insane. That is a huge loss for the PGA. Like, he's one of the best golfers in the world, and he decides to leave the best golf tour in the world. Like, there has to be more to this. I'm appalled. So no Braden Point again for the Lightning tonight. So here's something fun. Shaheem Holloway, the new coach of Seton Hall, confirms that Seton Hall will play St. Peter's next season. So that is pretty cool news. College Football Hall of Fame ballot announced featuring Tim Tebow, Ryan Leaf, and Alex Smith, inductees to be announced early in 2023. So that is great for those guys. The Blazers are eyeing Zach LaVine and Bradley Beal as options to pair with Damian Lillard as they're trying to go for it. That would be interesting. They have some picks now because of the McCollum deal to make it work. So Lakers hire Rasheed Wallace to join David Ham's coaching staff as an assistant. So that's very interesting news out of LA. Dallas Keuchel signs a minor league deal with the D-backs. So I don't know if I like this fit for him, but we'll see. Gary Sanchez says that Andujar belongs in the majors, as he says that he deserves a shot at the Yankees or any other team. Sharif O'Neal draft eligible as he was mistakenly added to withdrawals list, but will stay in the draft and has upcoming team workout. So that is bizarre. Nazem Kadri likely done for the playoffs as he had thumb surgery following the Evander Kane hit, is unlikely to be available going forward. That is a loss for the Colorado Avalanche, but I do think that they have the depth to overcome it. So a big deal coming down last night. Aaron Donald gets $40 million in terms of a raise. So a big contract extension for Aaron Donald, which is, I think it's 2 years, 95 mil, or 3 year 95 mil. I knew something crazy like that. He deserves it. He's the best non-quarterback in the NFL, so well deserved. And he's celebrating with Kanye, and he's looking forward to come back. The Denver Broncos to sell for $4.5 billion as Walmart here. Rob Walton's winning bid for the Broncos will be the most expensive sale for any sports franchise, which is crazy. So another big story from last night in the National Hockey League. The Bruins fired Bruce Cassidy after 6 seasons. That's crazy. Very insane. I'm surprised about this one. So I'm very interested to see who they had to replace him. And I have one name in mind. His name is Barry Trotz. So I think it's a race for Barry Trotz between them and Vegas. And the matter is of who hires him. And I think that it's going to be Boston because I think Bruce wants to stay on the East Coast. Or Barry. I said Bruce by mistake. I think Barry wants to stay on the East Coast, so I really think it's going to be the Bruins that end up hiring. Kyle Connor wins the Ladybug Trophy as he beats out Jacob Slavin and Jared Spurgeon to become the first Winnipeg Jets player to win the award, so that's cool for Kyle Connor. The Oilers pregame last night was very touching as 5 humble Broncos bushcraft survivors made a special presentation to Ben Stetler and his family, which was very nice. There's a bench clearing incident in Houston last night as Hector Neris threw at Ty France and Scott Servais was not having it. So Gary Cohen and Keith Hernandez and Ron Darling is a fun broadcasting trio. And the Mets booth last night, I don't know who was in the booth for this, but they might have been having the craziest conversation to happen on live television, which was really funny. I suggest you guys YouTube it. I think it was, I want to say Gary and Keith, but I could be wrong. Non-sports news, Pete Buttigieg tests positive for COVID, experiencing mild symptoms. Hopefully he gets well soon. Couple killed in apartment murder-suicide inside Mount Vernon home. That's very sad. Thoughts and prayers go out. And David Chappell donates ticket proceeds at Buffalo Show to families of massacre victims, which is really, really cool and awesome. Alrighty, last but not least, my best bet of the day, brought to you by FanDuel. I don't remember what I picked for best bet last night. And tonight, I'm going to go with a team that should not be an underdog in their game. Best bet last night was a winner, it looks like. It was, yes, it was. It was the over 7.5 between the Mets and the Padres. That was an easy winner. The Mets went over by themselves. So for today, I'm going to go with the Cubs at minus 106 against the Orioles. They should not be an underdog in this game. They should be favored. So I'm going to go with the Cubs at minus 106 in Baltimore against the Orioles. So that's it for today's show. I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything and looking ahead to everything tomorrow, including the primaries. And then obviously Game 3 of the NBA Finals is tomorrow, so that's exciting. And obviously news and notes and best bet for you as well. Have a great day, everyone.